It has been a little while since I've had any time to work on furniture flipping recently, so what better way to come back than by flipping a huge 3-piece dresser set. As many of you know, me and Avery recently bought a house that we are currently renovating. We are in the process of improving every square inch of this house, building equity, and modernizing it to its full potential. If you like these furniture flipping videos, there is no doubt in my mind that you wouldn't love this house flipping series as well. So after this video, make sure to go ahead and check the entire series out on my YouTube channel. In today's video, we are taking a little break from the house and flipping a huge 3-piece dresser set. I got this at the Salvation Army for $100, and by the time I'm done with this set, I'll be putting it back onto Facebook Marketplace for $2,000. Already, this is a high quality dresser set. It is solid wood pine from Bassett Furniture. All of the drawers slide perfectly as they should, but there are a few minor repairs that will need to be done in this makeover to modernize them more. Like I do with all makeovers, let's first start off by taking off the hardware. So I've been on YouTube for just around 3 years now, and with the end of the year approaching, I have set a goal for myself to reach 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year. Now, honestly, I often hear that reaching your first 10,000 subscribers is one of the hardest milestones for a YouTuber, and I really can't achieve it without your guys' help. With that being said, if you are currently watching and not yet subscribed, it would help me out big time if you could take a second right now to just subscribe down below. Another way that you can actually help me reach this goal of 10,000 subscribers is by simply interacting with this video. Anything like liking this video, commenting, sharing, or turning on your post notifications, all of that will tell the YouTube algorithm that you guys are enjoying this content and therefore pushed out to new people and new eyes so that more people can discover my small channel, because honestly, that's kind of the problem I'm having, is that people just don't know I'm out there. And, you know, what seems like such small tasks for you guys to do is actually a huge game changer for me and the future of my YouTube career. There are so many people out there that don't even know I exist because of how small my channel is. And with your help, I'm hoping that more people can discover my content and enjoy it as you guys do. I appreciate each and every one of you who watch my videos and do interact like that. So I wanted to take a second to thank you guys who have been consistent on interacting with my videos, and to the new subscribers of this channel, you guys are literally everything. Now, this is perfect timing since the hardware is off. You can see how much hardware this 3-piece set had, which means a lot of hardware that's gonna need to be replaced, but I think it was totally worth it. Typically, I save showing the new hardware for the end, but I am going to show you guys the new hardware this time around because I wanted to show you how lucky I got and how convenient placing this new hardware is actually going to be. For the set, I don't have to fill in any holes because I am simply just going to measure out and drill a second hole so that it fits this new bar hardware. Filling in holes and drilling new holes is not a hard process, and I think any beginner can do it, but it is a little bit more time consuming, and time is money when you are flipping furniture. And if I would have had to fill in all those holes and go back and sand them down, it would have taken a lot more time. Now, ever since I started flipping furniture, Avery has always been the one to help me drill the new hardware holes because he is so good at it and much faster than I am. So he's helping me do that on this set. Recently, he picked up this really sweet tool that helps him figure out where to drill the hardware holes. I highly recommend getting one of these if you plan to flip furniture or if you ever see yourself drilling in new hardware holes at any point. It definitely saves any mistakes. When possible, I try to have him drill the hardware holes before I get any paint on, just because sometimes when you drill the hardware holes after the paint is on, it can actually scratch up the paint a bit. But if you do drill the holes after painting and it does scratch, you can always go back and touch it up later. Now, since it is avoidable, I'd rather get the holes drilled first. He will also test the holes and actually put a piece of the new hardware in just to make sure that it does fit. And 9 times out of 10, it does. While he is drilling in all the new hardware holes, I am going to be working on getting this set all cleaned up. Anytime you are going to be giving your furniture a makeover, whether it's painting or refinishing, I highly recommend cleaning everything down just to avoid any dust, dirt, or grime that may be on the surface from getting into your new finish. There is no special solution that I use to clean my furniture when I'm giving it a makeover. Just like the furniture in my home, I actually use Dawn dish soap and warm water. It's one of the simplest solutions I have used to quickly cut any grease and all other gross things that you don't want on your furniture. I know it's more of a boring step, and that's why I keep it quick and simple in the video for you guys, but you do want to make sure that you are very thorough in this step. And in addition to cleaning the piece down, make sure that you are going back with just regular warm water to get all of the soap residue off so that it's not left behind, because believe it or not, that actually will show up in your paint if you leave it there, and that's definitely not something that you want. I did overlook the fact that there were actually very few hardware holes that would have to be filled in just because of the position of its current hole. So after cleaning the pieces down, I decided that it was the perfect time to do it. For this project, I am using plastic wood from DAP, and I do really like this product. It goes on pink and dries white, making it super beginner friendly. In addition to filling the few hardware holes in, I also looked all of the pieces over, including the drawers, just to find any scratches that also needed to be filled. There were quite a few surface level scratches. They were pretty minor, but because the wood on these drawers are a softer pine, the wood is not as solid, so it is to be expected. Once all of the wood filler was put on, I had to wait a couple hours for it all to dry before I could sand it back, but after it was dry, I was able to sand it and it was all good. Since I've moved to my new place, I have been using my shop vac to actually suck up all of the dust that sanding makes, and I really like this method because I don't have to wear a respirator. All of the dust is just gone in seconds because my shop vac actually just sucks it right up. I have been able to do that with this attachment where I actually just hook my circular sander straight up to my shop vac. I got it off of Amazon for around $14, I think. I can have a link to it down below in case you want to check it out for yourself, but it makes sanding super easy and hassle-free. People will sand wood furniture down for one of two reasons. First reason is that they're completely refinishing it and they're trying to remove the existing stain so that they can put a new one on. Or if they're doing a scuff sand, which is actually what I am doing here. The reason for a scuff sand is to basically just roughen up the surface enough so that primer and paint will actually adhere to the surface. A lot of the time, manufacturers will have a top coat on their finishes, and that makes the piece super sleek and shiny and smooth, so there's really nothing to grip onto when you go to paint it. Therefore, your new painted piece probably won't keep its paint. It'll start peeling off. I do like to use between 150 to 200 grit when I'm giving my pieces their scuff sands. I find that it's not too rough where it's ripping up the surface, but it's also just enough to actually grip onto the surface. In addition to doing the scuff sand on all of the surfaces that are getting paint, I will also go through all the places that I put the wood filler on and make sure to sand that back so that it is all smooth. The idea is that once the paint is on, you won't even know that there was an imperfection or a hole there to begin with. And then make sure after you do sand to go back and rinse all the surfaces off with just warm water. You don't need to do the Dawn dish soap and everything again, just warm water, because you want to make sure to get all of that dust off before it is time to paint. You definitely don't want that on because that is another thing that will show through all of the paint. After getting all of the pieces sanded and cleaned down, the next step is to put on some primer. Over the years that I've been flipping furniture, I have found that this Zinsser 123 primer has been the best adhesion primer, and you get the most value for your money. I do like to line my paint pans with aluminum foil or something like that, just so that I can easily throw it away rather than having to clean it. And then I did decide I was going to use a paintbrush. You will see later on, eventually I moved on to a roller because it is faster and there was a lot of surface to cover with all 3 of these dressers. Once I started putting on the primer, it kind of set in how big of a set this really was and how long this really was going to take me. But I mean, I spent $100 on this set and I'm getting $2,000 back for it, so it's definitely worth it. Now at this point it was getting pretty late, so I didn't get the first coat of primer on everything. I had to do a little bit more on that last dresser, and I also needed to do the drawers still. I didn't even start the drawers, but I didn't want to completely wipe myself out, so I took a break for the night and got up early and started the very next morning. You can just tell because the lighting is just so much more different. The lighting is super nice, bright, and it's the early morning sun. I started off with taking off the doors. I figured it would be a lot easier to paint them with the doors off. I decided I was only going to paint the outside of the doors, so I decided to tape off the inside just so that it was clean lines when I was finished painting and I could just peel the tape right off. Obviously I'm showing you guys the sped up version, but in real time painting these door fronts took a long time just because I had to be very careful not to let any paint pool up in all of those corners. There were a lot of corners, so I was really having to go back and check my work. But after I got the doors done, then I could finish up doing the first coat on that last dresser armoire that I had to do. And then also, in addition to that, I still had to do all of the drawer fronts, but those are pretty easy because it's flat surfaces, and although there were a lot of them, and that's what took most of the time, it was pretty easy and straightforward. After the first coat of primer was on and dry, I decided to go back with a second coat of primer, but for the second time around, I decided to use this Kiehl's Original Primer. It is a stain and odor blocking primer. It's a little more heavy duty and a little more expensive as well. The reason why I decided to do a second coat of primer with the Kiehl's primer is because typically anytime you're working with pine, you will run across these little knots in the wood. These knots can be kind of a pain because they bleed through your primer and paint, and that is what's happening here even after using the Zinsser 123 primer. The Zinsser 123 primer is just an adhesion primer. It doesn't really block any stains like this. And so this Kiehl's primer does a really good job at eliminating that. Honestly, I should have known. I've worked with pine before, and if I would have just used the Kiehl's primer first, I probably wouldn't have had to do a second coat of primer because typically I don't. Most of the time I am putting on one coat of primer if needed, but because I am going to be painting these dressers white anyways, there is going to need to be multiple coats of white on the surface of these dressers anyway. And because both of the primers are white, I wasn't too mad at it because it was just helping me get more coverage on these dressers. Which brings us right into painting. For this set, I'm going to be using this cabinet door and trim paint from Dutch Boy. It's a Menards brand and it's a little bit more shiny of a paint than I am used to, but I learned to enjoy that for this project actually, because this set, with the set being done now, I've learned how durable this paint really is because of it. Because of the 2 coats of primer, I only needed 2 coats of the white paint until I had full coverage. And because this paint was already so durable, I decided against putting on a top coat. If it were you doing this makeover though, you could still put on a top coat. I just didn't think it needed it. Altogether, I put on 4 layers of either primer or paint, which is quite a bit for a big set like this, and it took quite a bit of time. But I did eventually get full coverage so I could move on from painting and doing the minor details like putting in the brand new hardware. This was a big step for me because it really showed how well this set was coming along. I used the longer bar hardware on the bigger dresser pieces, and then I used the little ones where I thought it would look better. And then we also replaced the backing on the armoire. I just didn't like the big hole that was cut out of it, and I didn't think people would really use it for a little TV. like they did back then. Like, they don't make little TVs like that anymore, and I think this will more be for storage since there is a shelf that they can actually put up. So we took that out, and then we also put in a brand new backing. We got this pretty white panel from Home Depot, and it was just $30, I believe. They also sold half pieces, but I didn't measure this backing beforehand, so I didn't know if I would need a full piece or a half piece. I could have done with a half piece for $14, but we cut it out with this older jigsaw. I helped Avery do this, but he was kind of the star of the show, doing these little things for me to really complete the set. And once it was on, it looked so much better than it did with that hole. And now we can get into the final reveal.
If you want more than to stay alive,